This is Here I Am, Batson and the Batsons, by Small Spidey Boy. Chapter 7. Billy Batson says fuck. Local dads are horrified. Summary. Anxiety, angst, and the side of fluff as realizations dawn. As always, a great thanks to my betas. Billy regains consciousness suddenly. He blinks his eyes open to a dim room, quiet, and otherwise empty except for a few hospital beds and a few pieces of medical equipment that he didn't know the name for. He tries to move when he notices the pain radiating from his abdomen. He notices the pain, and then his brain catches up with the hospital room, or rather, the fact that he's currently in one. Billy feels his breathing start to quicken, and just as he does, the heart monitor starts to beat faster, and slightly louder. He may not know exactly where he is, or what is wrong with him, but he knows that he's alone for now, and the heart monitor alerting people is a bad thing. Normally Billy would disappear out the window, but A, there aren't any windows in this room, and B, Billy is exhausted. His magic is nothing more than a faint hum, not the usual vast reservoir that felt like waves crashing inside him. Now his magic is just faint drips that seem to press against him to stay safe. Safe here. Sleep. And so he does. He gives back into the soft warmth of sleep, and for some reason he dreams of a small flock of birds. Jason is in fact well-read, despite the assumptions people make about his upbringing and personality. And so when the only way he can describe this situation is flabbergasted, well, that means that the situation itself is flabbergasting. Not only does the replacement arrive late, he arrives not only with Bruce's demon spawn, but with a cat as well. And the cat is currently purring contentedly on his lap, and to his immense chagrin, Jason is giving and petting the little terror even as both Tim and Damien look on and snicker. We need you at the manor tonight. The good mood instantly evaporated, and Jason all but snarls at Tim. Tim just looks tired and holds up a hand. I know how it sounds, but this isn't something I ask lightly. Bea and Wing are both emotionally compromised right now. Penny1 and Doc are busy in the med bay. With the knowledge I have right now, one of the homeless kids was brutally attacked and left for dead. Jason can feel himself leaning toward the replacement and hates it. The kids of Gotham are his territory, and he's let it be known that hurting kids is not something he lets go of. Tim waits, and continues. We could use the extra hands, and the knowledge you have of the feuding factions. I'm not even asking you to spend the night, I'm just asking you to come to the cave and take a look for yourself. Jason stares into the replacement's eyes, and searches. He searches for lies, for hidden meanings, and finds none. Instead, he finds anxiety that matches the drumming of fingertips across the tabletop, and the tightly round posture of someone not ready to attack, but of someone ready to run. Jason's eyes flit toward the cat for a split second, and Tim instinctively traces the scar across his neck. It's not until he feels several pairs of eyes burning into him that he realizes that he's even done it. He tries to play it off as tucking a stray hair behind his ear, but it's useless when he sees the guilt in Jason's eyes. He sees Jay open his mouth, and suddenly he can't breathe. The air in the restaurant is choking him, and he's on his feet before he can even realize it. He sees Jason move in the corner of his vision, and he acts. This is no longer Tim, but Red Robin, a rival to the great Batman himself in both wit and martial arts. In a smooth motion, he puts himself in front of Damien, who, despite all his maturity, is still a child. It takes Jason only a matter of seconds to realize what happened. 1. Tim is scared of him. And 2. When he saw Jason startle, he instinctively put himself between Jason and Robin. And, God, Jason can feel it cloying up in his throat, the anger at himself, the sadness that Tim is still afraid, and the hot, bitter, festering voice in his mind that whispers, good, he should be. He replaced me and took what was mine. Jason shoves that ugly bit of himself down, and chokes out in a voice that sounded angrier than anything. I'll go, not because you asked me to, but to help Penny1. Tim nods, and carefully watches as Jason hands the cat over to Damien, and they are gone with only the faint sound of a restaurant door shutting. All things considered, that went pretty well, Tim thought, as he and Robin swang through the city. The night is still, and calm, the wind gently blowing against them, seemingly pushing the smog out of their way. The way back to the cave is quiet, and only filled with the faint sound of a purring motorcycle engine revving. The only sign that Jason is following them. They eventually reunite at one of the entrances to the Batcave, and wait in tense silence as each of them scans their biometrics and walks onto the elevator. The Batcave is unusually silent, and it only breaks when Leslie catches sight of them and hurries forward. "Tim, thank God you're here. Dick and Bruce are both emotional messes, and there's only so much we can do to contain them right now. We have a name and an age on the kid, but nothing on his metastatus. Alfred is doing a background check on the kid to see if we can find anything else." Leslie seems to deflate as she finishes the sentence. "There's not a whole lot we can do for this kid right now. We've gotten the bleeding stopped and patched a cut, but between the blood loss, malnutrition, and anemia, it's up to fate on whether or not he pulls through. Kiddo's strong, though. His heartbeat has been strong and beating on a regular pattern, with only a slight lapse every so often." Tim can feel some of the pressure lift off his chest, and he follows Leslie to the kid's bed. And then his heart literally skips a few beats when he recognizes the kid. "Fuck," he gulps. "I know this kid. I ran into him a few days ago, out on patrol. He was asleep and lightly injured, so I stayed to keep an eye on him." And then Jason speaks up too. "I met the kid too. Found me injured and managed to drag me to where he was staying and patch me up." Both he and Jason share a look, and everything seems to go to shit when the heart monitor picks up, and Billy bolts awake on the bed. He looks around groggily and holds his side. It's not until Billy makes eye contact with each of them that awareness seems to dawn. It's almost surprising how loud this kid yells fuck. It's less surprising, however, when the twin chorus of "no" can be heard from both Bruce and Dick. This was Chapter 7 of Here I Am, Batson and the Batsons, written by Small Spidey Boy, recorded by Star1412. If you like this, let me know in the comments, and let Small Spidey Boy know on the original work. And if you have any suggestions for new stories I could read, let me know in the comments, and I'll see what I could do. Thanks for listening.